All right, hello, my name is Matthias, and I would like to show you what I've been working on, an open source project of mine that I think is now ready to at least continue building in public, and that's basically my main resolution for 2026 is to start building in public because I think what I have is actually quite fun and interesting. And let me show you. So the idea is that I have this say digital journal or digital assistant application. It started more like a journal a long time ago, inspired by my grandma. Um, a story I will get into another day, but where I wanted to keep information or store information about what I did at a certain time in the past. Keep like a log of what I'm doing. So I started using it as a journal, recorded a lot of data, like audio recordings and stuff. But before the advent, this was all in 2016, and before the advent of AI, as we know it with ChatGPT, Gemini, etc., in the past 2 years mainly, it wasn't really feasible to find information or do a lot with it. Now it is though. And let me show you. And then came the realization that just keeping a journal so I can ask it like 10, 20, 40 years from now what I did at a certain time is really a bit much in terms of delayed gratification. It's not enough motivation to do it now, just to have that benefit long time into the future. So what I really need to do is to record what I'm doing. If I really want to later be able what I spent say 2025 with, I need to record the details of what I'm doing. Meaning I need a good task management software, task management and time tracking software. And this has been my main focus for quite some time. And let me show you how that looks like. The combination of this application with generative AI in the form of large language models. What I'm showing you now is using Google's Gemini 3 Flash, but on a powerful laptop. A lot of this is also possible on a local device. You just really need beefy hardware and most importantly a lot of RAM for that. But yeah, let me show you how I can create a task with this. And a lot of this is going to be just using voice. So earlier I found this issue with the layout of an image entry where the thumbnail was not properly contained. Because now I just created a new feature with cover art for a task, which is nice and makes it a lot more personal. I will show you after. But those images I generate for a cover art have a 2:1 ratio, which is nice, but it just looks broken when it's used as a thumbnail. So what I need to do there is to contain how much of the image is actually used as a thumbnail. So it's basically a bug in the presentation. And what I need to do is to ensure that the thumbnail is only shown um, as a square. And then once I have the implementation, I need to create a pull request. Then I need to address Gemini code review comments. Then I need to address code rapid review comments. Then merge the pull request, and then release on test flight iOS and on test flight macOS, and then also release on FlatHub. Fun story. Lotti is now available on FlatHub for Linux. That was a lot of work to get it there, but I have to say I really like FlatHub. The guarantees that they give you are pretty amazing. The entire application has to be built from source code on their platform, which and you cannot submit any binaries. So that's really super cool in terms of the properties of the entire application being properly auditable, what it actually does. But I digress. That's a story for another day. Let me show you what the app actually did in the background. So what it did here is to create a checklist just from the audio recording, where ensure thumbnail is shown as a square. Yes, this is actually entirely what I said. Initially, when I got started with this, I had some issues with spellings, especially test flight. Test flight and macOS or macOS, whatever, was hardly ever spelled right. Somehow Google's Gemini transcription model never got those right. Probably would have gotten it right if it were a Google product, whatever. But now what I'm doing here is I collect a dictionary of terms that I then provide to the transcription model. And ever since I started doing that, the spellings are almost always right. And also, if I now correct one of these checklist items, they would automatically be stored as a correction. And then the list of corrections, let's say here we just want a dot at the end. And then here you can see, well, I'm a little bit in the way. It's saving the correction, and then it builds per category a set of corrections which will provide really good examples of what the AI is supposed to do. But yeah, this is the most basic usage of Lotti as a task management tool. What is new now is that I can create a coding prompt from this. So I with all the information that is available to the task and the audio entry that I create, I can then take this entire context of the task, or if the task is linked from another task, the entire context, and then create a prompt for like Claude Code, for example. So here, let's look into this in more detail. And yeah, this is something that typically I can directly copy and paste into Claude Code in a matter of typically, oftentimes with a small UI bug, it's going to take me like a minute, 2 minutes or something for the dictation. And that's it. That's all it takes for me to generate this context. And if it's in the context of being linked from other tasks, it will gather all the links to say past pull requests or whatever, and provide them to Claude Code as well. So this entire phase of collecting the context for a coding assistant has become much easier with this application. And what I like the most about it is since this application is synchronized between mobile and desktop, a lot of the specification phase I can do out in the park. Out in the forest, whatever. I just dictate and then walk a little, and then the next idea that I have, I can add that and gather all the requirements. And then after, say, a 30-45 minute walk, have everything that is needed together, oftentimes 3, 4, 5 different recordings. And the best part is it's all billable time. Because honestly, if you do client work and go on a walk like that for the specification, it's typically the best time you could ever spend because of how, like, for me, the mind works. And I get away from the keyboard. I don't have to sit there the whole time and type all the shit myself. I can just speak my mind and then have this intermediate step of generating a prompt from my stream of consciousness talking. Because oftentimes I'm just talking, and if I just take that recording and give it to Claude Code, it's too much context oftentimes. It still works. It works better than just sparse typing of what my requirements are. But I find that with this intermediate step of creating a prompt from the entire context, I get something that's far better than what I would get, what I did get before. So Yeah, I think for today that's enough. If you're interested, subscribe or give the project a star on GitHub to get updates. And yeah, if you find this interesting, tune in the next time. My resolution for this year is to create a little piece of content every day because yeah, I think it's also boring to do this all by myself, and I would like to find people and get in contact with people who also find this as interesting as I do. With that, have a good day. Ciao.